Oh, sorry. Hi, Internet. Welcome
We're
to the
great.
International Weapons Fellowship on this, the 11th day of the 11th month, meaning that 105 years to the day since some small event that nobody remembers happened. They don't teach the First World War in schools anymore, do they?
I am a victim of American public education. Uh,
The First World
I
War, you
learned
know that?
U.S. history every other year, and
Oh, okay. So the 11th, so 11 a.m. on the 11th of November 1918 was when the First World War ended.
there it is. Okay. Yep.
Hence why
Um,
today in America is Veterans Day.
Yesterday was
Was it?
the observation of Veterans Day.
Oh, was it?
That
Oh, I
makes
thought it
sense.
was. Well,
Yeah.
tomorrow in the UK is going to be Remembrance Sunday,
Okay.
um, which we always have on the Sunday nearest to the 11th. I thought it was Veterans Day today for some reason. Yeah.
We celebrate it on a Friday, I think, typically, or we
Oh,
observe it on a Friday. So today may be the actual day. I have a calendar behind me. I should probably look at it. Oh, it's one of those rubbish calendars with all the little notes so they don't. What? Um, anyway, hats off. Thank you to
yes,
the people
indeed.
who that was a that was a weird one. That was the one that started with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, right?
That was the
And
one
it's
where it was
just
just kind of somebody ticked a domino and all of a sudden the entire world was at war with each other.
we were just
So
my partner and I were just talking about this, how like the allyship model has maybe been a preventative in European war since then, and because it's like, you mess with this country and then this country's like, hey, that's my friend, and then they've got to, and then that other country's like, hey, that's my friend, and then it's
yeah, but
nuts.
that's the thing, and that's why I don't know whether it was a worry for you guys, but when the whole business in Ukraine started, there was talk about bringing Ukraine into NATO, and I'm going like, no, because that then we would be legally obliged to go to war with Russia.
That was the discourse around the US as well. And, not that we are a US politics or world politics podcast, whatever thing we're doing live stream, but um, yeah, perspective wise, there was a lot of talk amongst people about like what's right and what we're supposed to do and what could potentially happen, and, peacekeeping efforts versus this whole thing. So, anyway, happy Veterans Day, everybody. I hope
Indeed.
you enjoy some apple pie and a hot dog and think about the things that people sploosh fought and died for.
Well, certainly splooshed a lot. It was quite wet, especially
Mm,
during the spring and autumn. France, there was lots of splooshin, I'm sure, splooshin
yeah,
and splashing and sploshing.
I'm England is like classically just a wet country. It's damp 2/3 of the year, uh, more or less. No, I
Three
don't know.
quarters, three quarters.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I would love that.
The best feeling for me is when it's pitch black outside, hammering it down with rain. I'm just in bed with a book or with my Neo and just writing and just with everybody else in the house asleep. So I'm solitude, but not necessarily loneliness. It'd be nice to have somebody lying next to me. Don't get me wrong, it'd be nice, but life, the universe, and everything.
Like the universe and everything. Hey, it'll
42,
happen.
I'm sure. I've just got to get
Probably
rid of the
just
sun first.
not pubs, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we've got nobody watching at this stage, but for posterity, if anybody does tune in, yeah, I went to a pub earlier. I went to the cinema, watched the Marvels, which I had a lot of fun watching, and then I thought, you know what, on the way back, I'll stop off for a pint because I haven't been for a pint on a Saturday night in a pub for ages. Literally, could not tell you when the last time I did that was. Oh my god, I felt old. I mean, there were people there older than me. Don't get me wrong. There were some. really? I'm like, ooh, okay, fine. There's somebody who's having a midlife crisis. But I was like, Jesus, looking at all the girls, I'm like, put some clothes on. Jeez, aren't you cold? Good Christ, it's freezing out there. Yeah.
I used to be one of those girls.
Yeah, so I was never one. I was never a young man. I was even as a teenager. I was never a teenager. I was always an old man in a young man's body.
I cosplayed for a couple years, but yeah, I much prefer to be at home with a pint of ice cream and you know, a sitcom and someone to watch it with. That's sort of the mood.
Yeah.
There's got to be tons of people out there who like that's the joie de vivre. I can't think. I'm still sick. I forgot to take Dayquil today, so you're not getting like.
Oh, you're not taking it yet? Why not?
I forgot.
Can you not take it now, or is it too late?
I could go take it, but that would require me like getting up and leaving you by yourself, and wouldn't that be
I've
the
done this.
saddest thing that ever happened?
Well, I have done this by myself completely. Like I say, I thought I was doing it by myself this evening. I didn't realize you were coming, so I was.
So you were going to sit here and host a writing live stream all by your onesies?
That's what I thought was happening. Yes, so I'm very heartwarmed by you turning up. Why? But I mean, why is that almost as sad as a 40-year-old man going to the pub by himself? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I need the Dayquil. Okay, talk to Autumn for a second, and you're gonna watch me walk away because I'm not even gonna turn off my camera, as I want you to know that I'm still here in
I'll bear
spirit.
that in mind.
It's happening. I'm putting down the headset. I'm walking away.
Just put the headset down and step away from the table. How do we meet these people, Autumn? You know, we're just going through life, and then these lovely people just walk into it, and yeah, and all of a sudden you have new friends, and you think, Jesus, I'm not the craziest person around here anymore. When did that happen? I mean, I hope I'm still the weirdest, but not necessarily the craziest. Ooh, Jesus. Autumn is at 17,500 words.
Oh my God, you're like on track. Look at you go. I am not keeping count because I'm using NaNoWriMo to do my rewrites, and I don't know that I need 50,000 words in rewrites. But I thought maybe it would be fun just to do it and to catch up just for the challenge of it. I enjoy challenges.
Sounds like a challenge.
It does.
Oh no! Congratulations. That's
outstanding.
Yeah. There is no way I'm. God knows what I'm on. Is that how you take tablets out of the packet in America?
They're
over here
hard to open. They're hard to open. I think I'm supposed to have scissors.
I didn't like to say, but so what was this one?
So fun fact about being, the ADHD is like I never want to have the right tools in my hand, or I never remember where they are, or you need to be at 18,333. That
I
is
think
today's name.
17,341 is pretty damn good.
Thank you. They are hard to open. Tell him. Tell that one.
Hey, you're talking to somebody who takes 23 tablets a day. I feel no sympathy for somebody who can't open one tablet.
I know.
I've just taken 8 in one mouthful, so I can.
Chronic illness is so fun, you guys.
Isn't it? Don't get old.
It's the best.
I
love it.
Yeah.
Don't get old.
No. Well, you haven't got old, and I was ill long before I got old. So it was just don't have kids.
Don't Don't be born with weirdly shaped amygdalas.
Just if your parents are ill, just tell them before you're born that no, thanks, you're out. You've got other parents to have. Just
No,
do
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So shall we kick ourselves off with cards? Do you want to do the draw? Do you want me to do it?
I've got the Modern Witch.
Let's have the
She's
Modern
here
Witch.
with me, and my camera's facing the right way, and I'm not being mirrored, so things will not look wonkified today. Oh, goodness gracious. Look, what's the cover of the guidebook?
That's not unsettling at all. Let's just let's move on, shall we?
It's the Ten of Swords, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It really is. And so I'm like, just don't.
Dad. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not mean to activate you.
I swear, blind. I'm logging off if you draw that card.
And today we have. What if it's worse? What if it's the Tower?
The Tower tends to mean it's the end of the bad thing, though, doesn't it? Yeah.
Really. The Death card tends to mean that it's the end of something. The Tower, I tend to take it as like, oh, hey girl, you're still in it, but maybe that's just me. But let's apply this to our writing and our processes today. And Autumn is showing us that it can be done. So let's pick a card, any card. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't even. Is that?
It's the Hanged One.
Okay. We're fine.
I can't get my camera to focus worth a damn, so I'm sorry.
It's focused.
Okay. It doesn't look focused on my end, but yeah. So this is typically the Hanged Man, but this is a gender positive, clear, very brown deck, so it's changed to the Hanged One. And as we can see, this person is not apparently any gender, but let's read what the Modern Witch Tarot has to say about that. I have my own feelings because and let's see, this is they're not numbered, and I forget where they fall in the deck. Dan, do a little song and dance for us while I search, please. Be a love. Granny can't seem to find the card. We found it. All right.
Hi there, Ocelot. Welcome to the madness. We're just looking at cards now, and
so
yeah,
we just drew this really fun, auspicious card, and here's the reading. The Hanged One. True peace can only come from within. The Hanged One has found this inner zen in what seems like an unusual place. She hangs from the tree of life in a comfy sweater and equally comfy sweatpants. Maybe she seems a little odd, hanging upside down and perfectly poised, but she's also calm. The Hanged One is just simply relaxed and at peace. Finally, it's the calm after the storm. You might have just had some tough battles or obstacles to conquer, but now it's time to relax a bit. Meditate, slow down, nurture your body and soul. You might have to sacrifice something in order to reach this state of Zen, but don't worry, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It may even feel like your self-care routine is a little strange to others, but this process is crucial for you to embrace who you are and to free yourself of others' expectations and demands.
Fair play.
I think that's apt.
Yeah, I think just considering what we've spoken about before we started today, what we've spoken about since we started today, I'm exhausted. You're exhausted. I'm ill. You're ill. So calm, relaxed in a weird place is okay. Yes.
Calm, relax in a weird place, and I also think I think in terms of NaNoWriMo, this speaks to me because there are a lot of people who say, like, oh my gosh, that's so much work. Why would you ever do that to yourself? You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to hate writing forever. I have sometimes been at my happiest while in the throes of a NaNoWriMo spell. And I think for writers especially, that manic need to just put pen to paper and metaphorically speaking, and just like go, 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 and get into that flow state and forget about your own self and your own life and just take the words from up here and put them out there, however you see. And I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody else, this motion that I'm doing. Yeah, sometimes
To
I
me,
feel
it's
like
more like.
someone else is. So for you, it's more like
Yeah,
taking a shit. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
mine's more constipation from a toothpaste tube, kind of. But
But you wouldn't do it if you didn't love it.
True.
Oh, Cookster Quackerstein.
I feel like
Thank
I needed
you.
to hear something. And that's the important thing. If you feel the burnout approaching, looking after yourself is not a bad thing.
I'm gonna leave her here for the duration.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. But yeah, looking after yourself is not a bad thing. Take that from Dan, the therapist. Sure. Seriously.
Yeah, but at the same time, do what I say, not what I do. Okay.
Because you're working on what?
You see, Amber, this is how you know you've made it into the friendship group, because people, that's when people just start abusing me and taking the mickey out of me at every possible opportunity. So welcome. You're here.
I like to think of it as playful teasing.
Oh no, seriously, that's the best ever. I fucking love it.
So you like a soft dom?
Maybe later, whilst we don't have anybody watching.
Anyway, Cookster Quackerstein, I appreciate the comment. I'm glad that you took something from that reading. The hanged man, the hanged person, the hanged one can sometimes be a little bit of a warning. So I like that it was a more positive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the warning is generally that if you don't, and this is my interpretation of it, is that if you don't give yourself a break, the universe will force you to have a break. So find a time that's convenient and have a break now, rather than just, as Cookster was saying, just burn out and have a break because you just don't have the strength to do anything. So
yeah, definitely.
But yes, hence why I went to the Marvels. The Marvels was good.
The Marvels. Are they paying you to say that?
No, I should be wearing my Ms. Marvel t-shirt, but it's actually in the wash because I wore it yesterday.
We got Power Rangers.
Well,
good enough.
See, I'm from the original Power Rangers generation, I suspect, because you're a bit younger, aren't you? So are you from the, I don't know what, Power Rangers Ninja or something like that?
How dare you accuse me of such a thing? I am an OG Power Rangers fan. Kimberly was my favorite, obviously, because she wore pink.
Cool.
I was in kindergarten when that thing came out. It blew my tiny mind into shards of insanity. Yeah, love that show.
Yeah, because I used to play it when I was in when I was about 7 or 8. I've got no idea. I can't change. I can't transform English terminology into American grades or anything like that. But yeah,
biggest Jason crush as a kid.
Me and my mate, Robert, we always argued over who would play Jason, because he loved being, because Jason was just the coolest, but at the same time, Zach did have a massive, great big axe that turned into a gun, so I settled.
Yeah, the Power Rangers arguments on the playground could get really heated at times. It's
So this is a manga RPG, as you can see. I picked it up in my local game store just to have a look, and it flopped open on this page, and as soon as it did, like, okay, fine, I'm buying it. You can play as a Power Ranger. I mean, there is a Power Rangers RPG out there now, but
Oh man, this is just
so
giving me inspiration for my bard character tonight. Tonight's D&D night. Oh, Hookster Quackerstein. Stupid question. Is Power Rangers like Voltron? Yeah, they all have like a robot, and then they make a mega robot, and then that robot smashes things.
yeah.
So I'm
But
gonna go yes.
Voltron is more out in space. It's defending the galaxy, whereas Power Rangers are more saving their town,
Yeah, but they have
which got
the,
rebuilt very quickly every week, just in time for the next monster to come along and kick it
you
to
know,
shreds.
it's like Sailor Moon in Tokyo. Like Tokyo was always getting people were falling down, dying, getting their energy zapped, and then the very next day it was like everything's fine.
Yeah,
Go
it's
to
all
the
right.
arcade.
But yeah, so I what was it? I've got no idea what I was going to say. I was going to say something, and then I just stopped talking, and therefore my brain said, "Okay, fine, we weren't saying anything important after all." Something to do with giant robots and kicking the shit out of things.
Well, getting us back on track for writing. Um, how are we going to apply the lesson of the Hanged One to our sprinting and creative endeavors today, Mr. Dan?
Well, I think for me, I said this a couple of days ago. I think I'm just going to have to accept that this year isn't going to be the one for me. I had an extremely upsetting weekend last weekend and have spent the intermediate period recovering from that because I got a migraine and it takes me a good week or more to get over a migraine. I've still got it, right here. It's so, I mean, you should have seen the state of me yesterday. Just, so I've just missed out a week, and when in something like Nano, you can't afford to miss a week. So I'm going to pick myself up and carry on with various projects, but I'm just not. As far as I'm concerned, this is my Nano thing. Getting together, meeting friends, and talking about Power Rangers.
Power
And so
Rangers.
I missed Forrest as an adult be 100% Billy. Yeah, because did you see the anniversary one they made? I think it was only a few months ago. I think it was this year where they got all of the original Power Rangers together, apart from Trini because she's no longer with us, and Kimberly because they got the other pink girl to do it, whose name I've forgotten. But yeah, it was cool, and they're not teenagers with attitude anymore. If you want to make yourself feel old, go and see how much older the Power Rangers are. And you think, Jesus Christ, I used to watch that.
I don't know if my soul can handle that. I don't know if the existential dread of seeing the Power Rangers old is really like what I need right now for my self-care. Um, it's
But on that topic, so that's me. I'm just going to take a step back and do kind of not what I want, but as in just I'm not putting pressure on myself. So how about yourself? What's your takeaway?
so I have this little voice in my head that I named Joey, and he's just how I divorced myself from negative self-talk. So Joey today was like, "You're behind on NaNoWriMo, even though you didn't even have a word goal and you didn't get your website up yet. You got all this stuff to do, and you gotta do it now. You gotta blah, blah, blah." And getting coffee this morning, my partner said, "You just need to slap Joey in the mouth." So that's where I am with my self-care journey. I'm supposed to slap the little gremlin that says bad things in my brain across the mouth. As far as projects go, I set myself a little goal for today to do some stuff because that makes me feel better and that quiets Joey down. Um, and then I'm gonna take a rest and have an early D&D night and I don't know, come at NaNoWriMo. Hopefully I will kick this cold eventually. I also will say I feel like NaNoWriMo is always why November? Why November? Like
Quite.
we're gearing up for holidays. Everybody's getting sick. when I was in college, it was like finals and that whole thing, and it's not a good month for this.
No. Why not? Sometime during the summer when, you know, the sun is beaming down on us and giving us all the vitamin goodness we need.
Yeah. But instead,
not
we've just like lost daylight, and it's dark at 4 o'clock, and existential dread and
yeah.
bronchitis.
And
That said, I love NaNoWriMo. I used to stay up till 2 a.m. writing when I was a youngin', so I want that back. I'm not making any damn sense.
Well, oddly enough, this was kind of my reason for saying to everybody, "Hey, shall we do live streams through Nano?" Because my favorite part of Nano isn't actually the writing; it's the whole community business. I love going to the forums on NaNoWriMo because it's just a bunch of enthusiastic people talking about the thing they love doing. So it's just it's a happy place. And
That's true. Without NaNoWriMo, I wouldn't be here with you all because Jen was going to read a chapter of my book and then was like, come join us. So
yeah,
maybe the real NaNoWriMo is the friends you make along the way. Maybe the real 50,000 words were in your heart the whole time. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I made Dan take his glasses off. I'm gonna die. Active chat today.
yeah. Thanks, guys.
It's I need that on a band.
Yeah, just
maybe we'll make t-shirts.
Well, that's how you complete. You win NaNoWriMo through the power of friendship. That's what it is. I think I'm done. It's been nice knowing you all, guys. I'm not coming back. This I can't do it.
By the power of fire.
What is it? Shape of the dragon. Was it? Is it the Wonder Twins? That was what it was. Yeah. You know the Wonder Twins? Oh, we've lost sound. Unless that's. Yeah.
Hang on, hop out and hop back in. I'm having lag.
No, you're back with us now. You're fine. Oh. Yes, I think we all need that on a banner. Oh, why? I always press the wrong button.
I broke us with that terrible joke, and that was my punishment for my hubris, and I apologize.
Mm-hmm. The internet heard you and punished all involved. And rightly so, frankly.
No, it's okay that you're stepping back from the manic word goal of 50,000 words, and I love that we're streaming, and I think that you will find the time and the passion and the energy to complete the project at your pace in a way that feels good to you. And you do karma, that's messed up.
Yeah.
I will never stop making that joke. That is my favorite joke.
That was anything that gets me to do this is worth its weight in gold.
Okay. This is what happens when we don't have Jen and Gary to keep it grounded.
To normalize everything, yeah, because yeah, they've had this for 20 years. Can you imagine how broken they'd been if they had both of us for 20 years? Well, we'll find out in 20 years, I suppose, but
I don't know that Jen knew the manic energy that I would bring to this, even in the midst of a bronchial infection. So
I can't wait to see you when you're not.
I don't know, man.
Hey, I'm on the other side of the Atlantic. I'm fine.
It's true. So you can just click and I'm gone.
Oh yeah, I'll bear that in mind. Thanks for that. So shall we actually do some bloody writing? Oh god.
I think everyone's had enough of our little Punch and Judy show. Get on with it.
What are you working on then? You say you're rewriting today, is that right?
Yeah, as I've shared before, I have 2 massive manuscripts of my fantasy novel that I've sent out to beta readers, and I've gotten lots of lovely feedback. And so this is my final attempt to polish it up and get it ready for the prom, so to speak, and then send it out to traditional publishers and get lots of rejection letters. And I'm just, yeah. So got rewrites to do, changed up some things. I changed the character's gender, so there's a lot of like fiddly work to do and new scenes to add in. And yeah. And how about you?
I did that with a short story years ago now. The 2 main characters were both male. I sent it out to straight white middle-aged men. Sent it out to tons of anthologies, short story websites, magazines, etc., and just kept getting it back. Changed the 2 main characters to black, or one black, one Indian female. Sent it out. The first magazine I sent it out to picked it up. That was literally the only thing I changed, was the gender. It was just
But
so
it
girl
can
power.
change everything, right? It can change everything about that scene or that story or the context, and
Yeah,
that's
100%.
wild.
It's so, yeah, and I love the new characters. I mean, I love the old characters, but the problem is that story was part of a series of stories I've been writing about those characters. So, but the problem is I'm now carrying on that story series, but I'm also having to write a series of stories about the new characters. So it's like, guys, come on, you've just doubled my work for me. Thanks.
Oh, I'm proud of you for getting that published, though. That's awesome.
The rejection. When I got my first rejection, I was like, yes. And after 5 minutes, it was just like, yeah, it's a rejection, whatever. Just send it. The most annoying thing about rejections is that I've got to send it out to somebody else. It's like, ugh, I've got to press send again on another email. Ugh,
Yeah.
so exhausting. Ugh.
I'm kind of looking forward to that. I mean, you can make fun of me in several months when I'm in the midst of the rejections and I'm weeping, but I kind of feel like you, like I'm gonna get a rejection and be like, I sent it out and someone said no.
Yeah. Well, and also, if you get upset, of course, I'm not going to take the piss out of you, but it's part of the business. It's, if you get yourself too hung up on the idea that you're going to get picked first time, then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. I mean, it might happen.
First time.
Sorry?
Who gets picked the first time? I'm just like thinking that to myself, like,
people with parents in the publishing company.
Fair enough.
Do we not
All right,
think
well,
there was there was a kid years ago, I think he was something like 16, and he got hailed as the next big thing, and it turned out the only reason the novel got published was because his parents were in charge of the publisher. I could be making that up completely, but
was
I'm
that
sure.
Aragon?
I have zero idea. I have no idea at all.
Okay, don't come for me if that's not Aragon. I haven't read the books. I don't know. I just remember being 16 and hearing about that kid and being like, damn him. So, don't at me.
No, I don't know. Maybe it could just be that it was a thing, a meme or something, and I heard and took it for real. I don't know. But nepotism exists in publishing, I'm sure.
What?
Happens in every other industry, so.
No. It's not a real thing.
Completely not. So, what are we? How long do you want to do this for? What time do we have you till?
Oh, what's my day looking like? Let's go for what time is it now? Let's do an easy 20 minutes, 25. I don't know. I can't make decisions.
Well, let's do 20. That way we can always do more if
But yeah, I gotta try to get a nap in before D&D tonight.
oh Jesus, yeah, 100%. Nepotism, no idea. Nepotism. Yeah.
I've never nepotice. I've hardly never even heard of a nepotism.
Nope. Oh, for God's sake, I always press the wrong fucking button.
How dare you, Dan?
Always, every single time. Right. Well, in that case, so Ember is going to carry on with her rewrites.
Yep.
Yep, 100%.
I think I have to throw out what I wrote yesterday.
Yeah, I had to do that a couple of days ago. It's yeah, I feel your pain. But yeah, I am going to carry on writing dialogue on this fighty story so that I can actually get to the fighting. But yeah, so let us know in the comments what you're writing, if you're going to join us. And yeah, let's let us away.
Catch up in 20.
Indeed. How do I get rid of the...
giant testicle monsters are tight.
that a bit loud there. It kind of just blew my head off.
I was just thinking, Jesus, because 600 words.
I mean, how much have I done? I should have actually counted. Must have done about 220 something, which about average for me.
Autumn at 103.
Well done,
Also,
Autumn.
Ocelot, you have my
feel you.
sympathies.
Yeah.
I hate that ever
That to
so
me-
much.
That to me sounds like a government job. I don't know if that's right, Ocelot, but every time I've applied for local government, you know, I used to work in various roles, and every single time it was one of those. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, to me that sounds like, oh.
It's not just government. I think it's a lot of places. That's just like their HR, human resources policy. They want to have your application on hand. So they have to. It's just stupid. It's just extra paperwork. Yes, you have all of my sympathy. Job hunting is, I'm nonprofit, so I think maybe just sectors that don't really get automation.
Yeah, well, hence one of the reasons why I work for myself.
Hey, I'm joining the ranks. 427 for Cookster Quackerstein. Say that 3 times fast.
Cooks the Quackerstein. Yeah, couldn't manage it. Nearly.
And 4 characters are finally meeting each other. That's got to be fun. 366 for Forest Elf. Well done.
Oh, sorry, did I miss Forest Elf? Sorry.
That's all right. That's why you got little spicy brain me.
If we get a job in the school of graduate, how are they supposed to have a history of jobs? Yeah, this is it. Yep.
Or if you're trying to hop sectors and you've got 10 years of job experience doing a thing that would easily move into another thing, but it's not exactly that. And then they ask, why don't people want to work anymore? Well, if you made it even remotely easy.
I saw what's it called? A video the other day, or was it this morning? Very recently, about just kids, teachers just getting the absolute shit kicked out of them by students. And I'm just like, oh, geez. I mean, because I trained to be a teacher. And no.
Cheers to that, Ocelot. I don't even need a private mansion. I'd be content just paying off my mortgage and living like a hermit here.
I actively don't want a mansion because, God, all the dust to clean up. I mean, I can just about a flat I could handle. You know, just a couple of rooms, preferably with a kitchen in the dining room, in the living room, just all one space, so I didn't actually have to walk from one room to another. Great, job done.
You want like an open concept loft, like a very just blah.
Yeah.
Whatever blah means. Yes, you do want to focus on relevant skills rather than job experience. Forest Elf can agree. And yeah, we're not lazy. We just do things differently. We work smarter, not harder. Oh yeah, teacher. My partner's a teacher. I don't know what kind of kryptonite sort of immune system he has, but he doesn't get sick as often as I do. Oh, the chat's going off today, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's the weekend magic. I think I think that's just people are at home and so they're able to join us. So thank you. And again, Amber, thank you for being here because I genuinely just came here expecting it to be me, myself, and I. So thank you to.
You would have liked that though. The Dan show.
We've had the Dan show in the past. There are videos on the YouTube channel. Go and watch that. It's boring because I'm like, okay, that's right. Bye. Basically, yeah.
You really sell yourself short, friend.
I'm if I'm good at anything, that's what it would be. a loft one day or a studio apartment once you finish school. Yeah, you see, I finished school 20 years ago, and I'm still dreaming of a 2-bed flat, because obviously I need somewhere for the kid to live as well. But so preferably I could bring girls home and not have him watch, or vice versa. But that's me being very optimistic.
I myself am a statistic beater and finally got a piece of property that is mine, but it's a rundown project house, and I love it too. But it's weird. It's weird, and it's old, and it's broken, and I love it. So I need to pay it off and fix it up.
See, I wanted to go to university to become an architect. I love buildings and plans, and I mean, I was always designing buildings as a kid, either secret bases or houses or mansions or secret bases, lots of secret bases, because kids,
secret mansion bases,
because I lived off things like Thunderbirds and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and just cool stuff where you have, I used to have a really big thing for booby traps. I think I was a very anxious child. You had every entrance had masses of booby traps that needed to be avoided.
My heart went in my throat for a second, and then you said traps, and I was like, thank God.
Why?
I just said booby, and I was like, ugh!
Oh, well, I mean, obviously they were there anyway, because, how else do you get the door to open?
Sorry, I have a 5-year-old, and he's just realizing that we have different body parts, so that's been
Booby.
Mommy has boobies. I'm like, she sure does.
She does. Yes,
This
and
is a
thank you
weird-
for informing the rest of the world of that. Cheers, great.
Yay! What an odd phase.
I'll just record everything you can, make it as embarrassing as possible, and then I've got some great pictures of my kid around about when he was your kid's age, just like with his hands, just asleep with his hands down his trousers, and it's just like, oh, I'm so sorry, but that is finding its way into the wedding. I don't know how.
Oh no!
But it's like, oh shit, sorry son, how did that get there? I know it's on the wall, isn't it? Who put that?
Oh.
Yeah. If you can, make sure you get a recording of him singing in the shower.
Oh my God! All he does is sing. I don't think he'd even be embarrassed.
Yes, but if you title it "Singing in the Shower," it doesn't matter. The fact is, he'll associate that with and it's just we've got to get the love, the happiness out of these relationships we can. And I'm a dad, therefore I derive my happiness from embarrassing the shit out of him.
Yeah, it's true. It's how we pay back for all the sleepless nights. So yes, may we all become best-selling authors and have our dream homes, our booby-trapped fortress loft houses with bachelor pad elements and spinning beds. I don't know. I'd settle for just tile in my kitchen instead of gross linoleum.
Ooh, yeah, we've got lino in ours, and I daren't pick it up because I just don't know what I'm not brave enough to want to find out what's underneath it.
Possibly asbestos.
Almost certainly. So you got to die something.
Ugh. So yeah, just want to be able to afford contractors.
Yeah.
Not have to work for narcissists anymore. Oh.
See,
Yeah.
there was a fantastic song. I think it was actually a car advert. Oh, I'm gonna...
We still have the
Basically, it was about a dad who. That was it. No, so he had 2 babies, and the only way they would go to sleep is if he was driving them around in his car. And which I sympathize with heavily. And the whole song was basically about being absolutely cacked but still having to go on just because the kids just needed it. And he was like it had lines like, no more urine on my shoes, no more vomit on my shoulder. And something like the Fatherhood, I think it was. Or, I'll give you the link. It's later on. I've remembered it. Yeah.
Oh, Forrest, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what it is about me and my luck, or probably the sector that I worked in. Just narcissist havens.
Yeah, well, as soon as people become managers, it's the Dilbert principle, isn't it? Do you know Dilbert?
Oh, I know Dilbert, the world's unfunniest comic. Sorry,
there was a time when it was
Dilbert
funny.
Fans out there.
Yeah, there was a time when it was funny. Well,
was there?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Anyway,
it was just the Dilbert principle, regardless of whether or not the comics are fun. Because I don't know much about it. All I know is the Dilbert principle is that the most useless people at the job get promoted, because that way the people who are good at the job get left alone to do the job, whilst the useless people are just there doing nothing. So that's why it's most economical for the company just to have the useless people up in the boardrooms where they can do the least amount of damage. I think
that's interesting. I see it more as just like people accumulate power, and then they have the further up they move, the less like responsibility, or it's not responsibility, the less I can't think of the word. I mean, the less susceptible they are to like repercussions and consequences, right? So
yeah.
If you come into a company and you're new and you say, hey, this person is mistreating me, well, that person's been there for 20 years, and so it's your word against theirs, and then suddenly,
Yeah.
That's just been my experience over and over and over again. And
because the worst rank in the military, or in the British Army, it'll be similar for the American forces as well, but easily the worst rank is major, which is, so you've got lieutenant, second lieutenant, then captain, and then you've got major. Major is the first rank in the forces where you've got enough authority to actually give proper orders. The only problem is you don't actually have enough authority to have any orders to give, so they become massive arseholes going, you make me a cup of coffee, because that's about as effective as they can go, but they've got a sufficient number of people under them to actually wield authority, but no authority to actually wield, and so they just turn into absolute dicks. As soon as they progress through the ranks, they suddenly become less insufferable, but most majors just are shoot me now.
I will say I'm also coming from nonprofit where people can cover their poor behavior with, but I'm here for the cause, and I don't know. We could go off on this, but I was just bringing up like Keith Raniere in the car and like the Nexium thing and like all that stuff, and like, oh, Dan, there's a rabbit hole to jump down. Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Oh, well, bye, Quackerstein. Thanks for heading in.
Thanks for joining us. And thanks for joining us from the cafe.
Yeah. Come back. We'll see you again.
Yes, we're here every day throughout Nano, so please do join us.
Yeah, see, people, and that's the thing too, is I noticed that they, at least in my last position, it's like people come in and the narcissists are threatened by new talent, and so they try to push them back out. And so I saw this revolving door of humans just kind of, oh, we have this new person and they're great, and they're gone. Mm-hmm. And it's odd.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like the education thing. As I say, I trained to be a teacher, but being a bloke as a teacher, I mean, it was very much a case of a lot of them. I mean, one woman who I did the training with said, and she'd been a teacher for goodness knows how many years, said, I don't think men should be teachers. Oh, okay. And that wasn't a one-off. conversation. So I had that from multiple people, and the bitchiness and backstabbing from these people who are just, and it's just like, no, do you know what? I've got shit to do, thanks. I'll go and ask people how they feel for a living.
Serious. I don't, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of it too, just in online discourse, that a lot of people are pushing back against this kind of behavior at work and not getting the results that they need, not getting the support that they need. It's just terrible. Bye, Quackerstein. Oh gosh, so much in the chat happening right now.
My current job, I was an EA. I worked for some great executives that got pushed out by. Yeah, I mean, I'm.
What's your take, Dr. Dan?
The word narcissist is not how we are not necessarily talking about. Being an asshole doesn't make you a narcissist, which I have to remind people because there is actually a clinical definition of what a narcissist is, and we're not necessarily talking about. I mean, I'm sure some of them are, but I've got a couple of clients. Oh my god, want everybody is a narcissist because, like, mate, yeah, I get it. This person was a dick to you. Doesn't make them a narcissist. How about we work on you here? It's just.
Yeah, no, I try to use that word carefully because I know that I hate how pop psychology will take things like, oh, I'm so OCD. Like, no, you like things clean. You don't have
exactly.
OCD.
Yeah.
There are some people who are like pathological in their behavior. And I don't know that they could be diagnosable. I'm probably armchair diagnosing this person, but their behavior towards other people and their behavior and in receiving feedback was very it was clinical. I don't know. Do I get called Amber a lot? So Ember is actually my pen name. So I don't hear people like in the wild call me by that name a lot, and I'm sure that they would. That's funny though that people are calling you Amber when your name is Autumn.
I mean, that's a completely
No, how would you know though? Like I'm considering even going back to my original name because it turns out there are Embers out there who are also writing fantasy books. I can't win, Dan.
I know, and there's also I can't win either. Men still get the management promotions in education. Yeah, I mean, there are the number of male teachers is vanishingly small in comparison to the female, and yet how many times do schools have headmasters instead of headmistresses? You know, it's just
Here we have principals and superintendents, but they're most often men who get up into the upper administration. We're really going in a direction today. Like
we are. We started off by saying we're not gonna go political today.
You brought up Veterans Day. It was over.
When will you fix the world? Ocelot, the last thing you want is me in a position to fix the world. Just giving you that here and now.
See, Forest Elf, I agree on the definition, and that's used too much. I only use it when you see the actual signs of actual narcissism. Dan, will you give us a corner here? What are some of the classical signs of narcissism so that we can disabuse people of the notion that an asshole is a narcissist and vice versa?
Oh, sorry.
Just to put you on the spot.
Yeah, well, so a narcissist is somebody who just has to be the best person in the world about everything. And but on a surface level, genuinely believes that they are. And so whenever they see evidence to the contrary, it's just it throws their world. And so they will, and it becomes a, sorry, it's 10:15. My thesaurus is I had it. Defense mechanism. Jesus Christ.
How could you not pull that out of your hat?
I pulled it out somewhere. So that's nothing.
Oh.
But yeah, so the reason it comes along is because not being the best becomes terrifyingly painful for them. And I know that I'm not from an excusing behavior that goes, I'm better than you, and here's why I'm going to prove it. But it has proper clinical
indications,
meaning. That's the word. Thank you. And but never narcissists never come to therapy because they don't need
it.
therapy.
It's everyone else.
Yeah,
Everyone else is the problem, not them.
but when you do actually get narcissistic traits in, it's 9 times out of 10 it's because they were well and truly fucked over when they were younger. And again, that doesn't excuse shitty behavior on their part, but just being entitled doesn't necessarily mean that you are officially narcissistic. You know, I shouted at a bus driver a couple of days ago that I'm sure he thought I was an arsehole. I don't think it was narcissistic.
No. And with regards to this person that I'm talking about, this was a pattern of refusing to take accountability, refusing to take feedback, and making everyone else the problem. Oh, now we're just having a Q&A about narcissism. Can narcissism be inherited?
But that that point you just made about it being a pattern, yes, that's how you identify it. It's you can. I've had good bosses, I've had bad bosses, you know, but I would never necessarily call any of them narcissists because being selfish is a thing we all do.
Right. And everyone has a touch of narcissism to them. Like that's a trait.
It's a spectrum like anything else, and some of us are more inclined to it than others. Ooh, sorry, just gonna move. Otherwise, my back will break.
Don't think it's heritable. I think that it's a personality disorder that's developed, like Dan said, through trauma.
Yeah.
Which I did ask, like, who hurt that person? Who made their life so miserable that this is how they respond to any negative stimuli? They just become, like, overblown and emotional and horrid and mean and, weird.
And that's the thing, because they've got severe issues, clearly, but that's their problem. And when they're affecting your life, we've got to look after you. And it would be nice if we could just fix everybody.
Wow, Ocelot.
100%. Absolutely.
Very true. And there are lots of people who would say that this person that I dealt with is a very lovely human, and that's because she's very lovely when she wants to be. But she just mercilessly bullied me and made my life hell, so.
And that's never okay, regardless of how difficult your own life is. I mean, we could go on. We could go on. So shall we get out of that? What was that thing you mentioned? Axiom? You mentioned
Nexium. Earlier? Yeah, that's like there's a documentary on HBO, and it's all about like this lifestyle guru who is truly like a diagnosable malignant narcissist, and it's bananas to watch the power that he has over other people. I think that's why I got into psychology, because I like observing other people. That's probably also what makes me a writer. It's the observation. Yeah. And so watching the things that these people went through, but also the things that people were sort of led into doing, the levels of things that they would end up doing. I got my undergrad degree in psychology, and I'm still toying with the idea of becoming a future Dan of America, but we'll see.
I mean, what was it? A cult or something?
Yeah, it ended up being a cult disguised as a self-help group and also a pyramid scheme. It was like the trifecta of bad. And the documentary is fascinating. These poor people were put through so much.
Sorry, just to ask again, what Nexium?
Nexium, yeah, and it's spelled weird. It's like N. Oh, geez, N. It's not like Nexium. It's like Nxivm.
No, because what I come at is Nexium oral. Uses, side effects, interactions, medicine to lower stomach acid. Maybe not that.
No, Keith Raniere is the person you want to look up. He is a wild ride of a human being. I've studied him in. See, I have trouble with writing. Here's how we get this back to writing. I've had trouble writing villains because I am such an innocent, according to Fran, who we love, that I can't understand why other people do bad things. Like it is beyond my comprehension why people do harm intentionally. And so I studied this Keith Raniere character because I had to know, like, did he mean to cause harm, or was he so convinced of his own goodness that he, I don't, yeah. I never want to write a villain who's just like, you know, 'cause it's so boring. Like you want to.
Yeah, well, it depends. Really. Sorry, I'm just gonna because the best villain in history is Scorpio from The Simpsons. Have you ever seen that episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, Forrest Elf, thank you. NXIV. Yeah. Next. Oh yeah, the vow. Thank you, Forrest Elf with the Google. Yeah, I highly recommend the vow. It's traumatic though, so if you don't like watching people go through bad things, then don't. But
thanks for the pointer for stuff because like I say, I found antacid tablets, so yeah, which is because whereas I'm very much a case of, well, human's gonna human.
So you're fine writing an unironically just bad guy who knows he's bad.
I don't know if anybody knows they're bad. Some people are just kind of less giving a shit about other people.
So, but that's part of the question, I guess, is like if you've got a villain who is like killing people or hurting people, like they know that's bad. Like we all agree as a society that that's a bad thing, and yet they're choosing to do it because.
But surely they have a reason for it. And again, I'm not for a minute suggesting that's a valid reason, but
no, we're just talking. We're talking fiction writing. So
I mean, well, not necessarily though, because think of Vlad the Impaler, for example. You know, that.
Okay, what shall I think of Vlad the Impaler?
You know, well, no, I mean, not a good look, but
no.
it kept him in power, which to him and the people around him was a good thing.
Oh, Forrest Elf, the most interesting villains are the villains who are right. It's their methods that are wrong.
Yes, or the villains who are right and their methods are right, whatever they are, but the character, the viewpoint character, doesn't know that. They've kind of been not brainwashed, but they're coming at it from a different angle, and therefore view everything bad. I say this because I wrote a novel with another IWF member who hasn't made an appearance on the shows years ago now, where we did exactly that. Actually, the villain was manifestly the good guy, but his actions all looked bad because we saw everything from the other character's point of view, and it was a lot of fun. Drip feeding the idea that actually the main character was essentially a terrorist.
Oh my god. See, that's fascinating. I just struggle with people being evil for the sake of the story. I always have to like really dig into their motivations, and I like even a villain who is doing the wrong thing but convinced that it's the right thing. So
yeah,
you know, they're a king and they want to stay in power like Vlad the Impaler, but it turns out their power is hurting the people that need help. I don't know. It's
I saw a fantastic article. Yeah, convincing is the word. Is a good word. Convincing.
Yeah.
What was it? I saw an article. I think it was in Blackgate magazine quite a few years ago now. talking about Saruman from Lord of the Rings. I can't remember. Was it you who wasn't into Lord of the Rings, or was it Erica?
That was Erica.
It was
I
Erica,
don't know
was
what's
it?
wrong with Erica.
No, poor
I'm
girl.
kidding. I'm kidding. It's totally fine.
But this guy actually spoke about Saruman and kind of made the point that it was almost inevitable that he was going to end up doing what he did, because and he just kind of listed things out, because Saruman and Sauron were of the same order of beings. They both came from Aule the smith, so they were both very methodical in their thinking and practical. Saruman arrived in Middle Earth about 1,000 years, I think it was, before Gandalf, and yet as soon as Gandalf arrived, everybody else said that he was the better one. So there was a bit of jealousy on Saruman's, and it just went through all of these reasons why Saruman, in his own twisted way, was still trying to carry out his role of keeping Middle Earth safe from Sauron, but he just convinced himself that his way was correct and that no other way would work. And we all know how that worked out for him.
That's interesting. I wish I could sit down with Tolkien and pick his brain about those decisions and how he came to them, because we know that he spent so much time working on Lord of the Rings, so much of his life just bent over this thing. And I can imagine him having that same crisis of I have these characters and they need to, I don't know, maybe not, maybe he just came out into the world a fully formed amazing writer and he never had any problems ever, and he's just I'm brilliant and here's Saruman and people are going to dig into this forever because I'm Tolkien and I
see. I would hate to meet Tolkien, because I suspect I would massively dislike him, because he was an academic. Mm-hmm. Academics by and large genuinely believe the sun shines out of their own assholes, and says somebody who spent several years working in academic publishing and had to be nice to so many people, and it's so
he would be insufferable.
I would be worried that he would be, yes. I could be wrong, but I'm just never meet your hero.
No, I just want to have a nice tea with him and just have him be willing to talk to me. But obviously, one, he's dead, and two, he probably was an insufferable academic because he was a posh Britishman who.
I mean, I quite like having something I could just stick on the back of his neck that would take his thoughts out of him without actually having to interact with him, the person. Maybe just have the knowledge without actually having to say hi. That's a completely ethical thing to do, surely.
Are we going to get dragged through the mud when this goes on the internet forever?
Almost certainly.
Oh no, YouTubers are going to be actually.
He's I mean, on the subject of evil villains and all that, the thing that I really love about the whole evil in Middle Earth is how insidious it is as a force, because obviously you've got Morgoth, Melkor, who was the OG Dark Lord, and evil is just him just drip feeding himself into the world, and every little bit of evil exists because it's part of him, in just kind of going out into the world. It can all be traced back to him as a specific entity, and I don't know, I just think that's cool as a concept.
That's interesting
in terms
too.
of world building.
And we're coming full circle too, because as we know, famously Tolkien fought in
a bar, maybe.
He fought in World War I and was disgusted with the atrocities that humanity could bring upon itself. And I think that a lot of that came through in his book with the inherentness of the evil in his world. Like you're saying, these things existed. They weren't created through trauma or bad things. They were part of Middle Earth, as a part of Middle Earth as the hobbits.
Yeah, and my favorite Tolkien story is actually The Fall of Gondolin, simply because it's got kind of a mythic feel. Have you read that one?
No, I'm
So
lame. I've only just like read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. I didn't spread out into the Silmarillion and all the other little bits and bobs. But I did study Tolkien in high school for like a project, so I know all these like weird things about him as a human.
you, why couldn't I do Tolkien at high school?
I
I had
don't
to do
know.
Charles Dickens.
Oh,
Actually, no.
weak.
Saying that, thank God I didn't do Tolkien at school, because if there was anything that was going to put me off Tolkien, it would have been doing it at school, I suppose.
Eh,
Um,
I had a cool English teacher.
so I had a cool history teacher, and I think that explains all the history. He was mad as a box of frogs, Mr. Lauder. He was absolutely batshit crazy. I loved him so much.
Show me a history teacher that isn't mad as a box of frogs, and
Yeah, true.
I'll
Mr.
show you
No,
my
yeah.
surprised face. All right, we have run quite late. We should probably
Oh,
wrap it
good
up.
God, yes, we have.
We've just been having such a lovely chat. Thank you for all
Yeah.
the comments, and thanks for sprinting with us, or
Yes,
jogging
absolutely.
or walking as fast as you can. There are no, it's not a race.
You can't catch me because
It's
I'm the gingerbread man. Oh well, enjoy game night. Do you saying that you've got D&D yourself tonight, Amber?
Yeah, I've got D&D. I've second round with my brand new bard character, Kevin. He's a bard. He's not
Oh
very
yeah, yeah,
smart.
yeah. I've noticed. I was talking about this with another therapist yesterday. How I always make really stupid characters, because my job is a very thinky job. My job is to go. My clients fear this face.
I know, I'm like getting triggered by that face. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh no, I've said something. He's gonna write it in his little journal. He's gonna
and
have to throw it back at me and ask me a hard question now
yeah,
and
and
challenge
so
my worldview.
when it comes to downtime, I don't want to have to think. It's just like, give me the dice and let me kill something, please. Thank you. And if
That's
it
where I'm
involves
at.
playing a Power Ranger, let me be a Power Ranger.
I just want to be a goofy dude who like sings songs when the rest of the party is in battle. I just want to be on the sidelines like, I'll help you guys.
Before we come to that, just to answer this one, so whilst as I say, I trained to be a teacher, one of the few things that I came away from that experience with, which is actually was it was one of the first things that our instructors said, whatever, because I did primary teaching. The first thing you need to do is develop a look. That just so you could just look at the class and they will instantly know that you're not pissing around, and they will just stop. You don't need to say a word, and that you'll just terrify them into silence. And I think basically it was my look was one of barely contained violence, I think is the way to.
Is it this?
That's more.
Oh, ooh. Ooh, oh, with the brows. I'm sorry, Mr. Dan. I'll do my homework, I promise. Yeah, the brows really make it. The brow, like, suddenly they are, like, through this.
I grew up in awe of Roger Moore. I think it's entirely his fault that I can do so much with them. It's
Yeah, I call this the Scarlett O'Hara. With the one brow.
hello, Mr. Bond. Yes. What the hell are we doing? Jesus.
I don't know! We need Jen and Carrie back!
We've jumped off the deep end and we're still
We're
falling.
talking about Tolkien and eyebrows and narcissism. Come back, Carrie! Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's been
hop
a
back into
fantastic. Yeah.
We're gonna go backstage.
I hope you enjoy. I hope you get the form filled out. So yeah, sympathies all around. Just go and work for yourself. Just you don't have to fill out any forms ever again, because what you do is you get other people to fill the forms out for you.
That's true.
And yes, Autumn. Was it Autumn? Oh no, who was going off to play for game night? Whoever was off for game night,
Forest
game
Elf.
night. It was a Forest Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Forest Elf game night. Autumn villain hero romance. And you said
I
would
love
never
it.
write that. Yeah.
I love that trope. It's okay though. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic at heart, and so that same novel where the bad guy was actually not the bad guy. I've written so many short stories about him and his wife, and I love them so much. It's just the most adorable thing ever.
I love loving characters. I'm here for it.
Right. Well, on that rather uplifting note, I just realized we've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes, so let's call it a day.
Yeah. Let this be our redemption arc. We'll let you all go.
Yes. Good luck, guys. I need plenty of redemption, is all I'm saying. You know the drill by now. We're here until the end of the month, same time every day, 9 p.m. British time, 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
And 1 p.m. Pacific.
1 p.m. Pacific. See you tomorrow. And
Bye,
happy
everyone.
writing. Thanks, guys. Cheers.